Hi everyone, this is Mr. Ege, and we're focusing on the last steps to complete the engine block, V8 engine. And in order to complete the engine block, we have to look at the way that the engine had supposed to be connected, tied, fastened to the block. There are two engine heads, and we have 8-cylinder engines, so we have four cylinders on each side. Okay, and we need some holes, okay, for the bolts, okay, that connect the engine head, and also we need some other remove some of the existing material that increases the weight, okay, and it has some problems if it doesn't have enough room, okay, for cooling down the engine is subject to the very high temperatures and small size explosions continuously, and that's why it needs to be cooled down very quickly, okay. And we have a underneath the engine block there will be a carter which is a oil pan, okay, and there's going to be an oil pump, and the oil is going to be continuously circulating within the around the cylinders. So to do that, I'm going to select this sketch over here, okay, double click that, and the sketch is open. And now we want to make sure that we know where the center. Okay, this is the four-cylinder engine block, and we need to, first of all, let's draw the rectangle, okay, around the surface of the sketch, and then draw two perfect diagonal lines, and that intersection of which is going to establish, okay, the center line, which is important because everything is supposed to be pretty much symmetrical. And I'm going to draw the center lines. Okay. The holes are supposed to be perfectly centered. Okay. We can erase those construction lines, center lines later on, but right now we need those axes. Okay. Next thing to do is to create the holes for the bolts. Okay. I want these bolts to be located exactly at the point, exactly the equal point from each circle, from each cylinder, and so that's why I need to copy the center line, perhaps from center point to center point. Okay, and do the same on the opposite side too. Again, we're copying, and from the center point of circle to the center point of the circle. Okay, so this establishes the location of the center of each hole. Okay. So what are the sizes of the holes, the bolt holes? I believe it's 0.24 inches. but I just want to make sure that it is also confirmed. Yes, diameter is 0.24. And how far are they supposed to be? It might as well be halfway from the cylinder to the edge. Okay. Computer recognizes the midpoints, and that's good to have construction lines drawn. All right, so this is the first location. All right. And 0.24. Okay, I'm going to change the location of this hole. Okay, and because there are some, realize some other features that you're supposed to be generating, and that is the thickness of the wall. So I'm going to use first offset command. Okay, and 0.24 inches offset each one of these cylinders. 0.24. Okay, 0.24. Okay. It's going to be offset towards inside. 0.24. Okay. All right. So the circle, actually, the bolt hole should be in between this available space. Now offsets are supposed to be contacting each other, and that is going to be, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try something larger because they're supporting these cylinder thicknesses also, they're supporting each other. It's I'm going to try 0.27, 0.275 perhaps. 0.275. Okay. All right, so everything will be offset accordingly. 0.275. Okay. Now I can move the circle okay from where it is to where it's supposed to be. All right, and this will also need to be circled, offsetted. We need a line here in between these 2 points. One of them is tangency point, the other one is the wall, and we need to move in the midpoint. Point 4-inch diameter, and we're going to offset this. Let's offset it for 0.19. Okay. All right. So now we need 8 copies of this. Okay. Okay, because everything is symmetrical, we want to just use the symmetrical copy command. Mirror command. All right. So in order to support the holes for the bolt holes, I'm going to just thicken this wall, okay, from where it is to where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to just using the offset, okay, a little bit more. Okay, those bolt holes has to be supported as well. We don't need this every single line, okay, but this particular line, we can erase it, we don't need to. This we can definitely erase, okay. All right, certain lines has to be modified. Okay, certain lines we can erase. We don't need them anymore. This, for example. And then we're going to use the trim command. Okay, so again, center lines, we don't need it. They're construction lines, we're erasing those. Okay. Diagonal lines, we're erasing those. Okay. All right. And we're going to continue trimming. Okay. All right. Engineering is a work continuously done between minimums and maximums, and very often we do have exact dimensions we have to go, but when we don't, we work with tolerances. Okay, certain lines has to go. Okay. I'm going to continue with trim. But if you already know what we are about to do, just continue with your work. You don't have to watch me this part of the work, because I'm joining the walls to the walls and trimming the lines. That's going to be in between. That's not going to be extruded. So these are the lines that I'm erasing or trimming, are the ones that are not going to be extruded to be the metal wall of the engine block. So this is how it's going to look when it is done. So I'm going to continue doing that. Please, you go ahead. If you know what we're doing and understand what we're doing, you don't have to watch the entire. So I'm just suggesting you to go ahead. If you know what you're doing, just don't waste your time and just continue. Procedure, just stop the video and continue your producing your lines and trim them as far as that you can to create those interior walls. Okay, just like a house, engine block needs to be created. All right, this is where we're getting. I will let you see the final product. Okay, so this is a final product. If you wanna look at it, okay. Before we extrude it, this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, everything is symmetrical on vertical axes and horizontal axes. All right, and we have 8 cylinders. I'm sorry, 4 cylinders. We're gonna copy this to the other side, but we have 4 cylinders. Okay, on this side, and eight bolt holes, and we're going to extrude this part, okay, towards inside, and then the holes are supposed to be threaded. Okay, so this sketch is copyable, so I'm going to finish the sketch, okay, before we copy an extrusion. All right, and I'm going to change the angle even a little bit more, okay, this way. Okay, and I'm going to just simply go to extrude command. Okay, sketch is finished. We're just ending this sketch. And we're going to extrude. Now, okay, so sketch is finished. We can go back to extrusion. Okay, this time I'm selecting the surface to extrude. All right, so we're going to choose the extrusion, negative extrusion for each one of those areas. Okay, and we're going to choose the empty spaces. Okay, including the holes, one at a time. I'm just going to do this one more time. Okay, and we're adding a new extrusion. This is going to be different. Okay, and it's a cut type of extrusion. So these are the oil holes and enable to penetrate for the oil. I suggest you not to choose the holes the bolt holes will be chosen later. All right. Okay. Okay, so the bolts will be done additionally and at certain distance. Okay, so let's make the bolt holes, okay, extruded 0.5 inches. Okay, so let's zoom in. Double click on extrusion. Now we're adding a new extrusion. Okay, so click on the plus button at the lower right hand corner. All right, and again negative, and then thickness is going to be, say, well, let's make it 1 inch. Okay. And then with this time we're choosing only the bolt holes. And okay. All right. The bolt holes are supposed to be threaded, and that's another process we should do. And we're going to go like one at a time on this. Okay. And we're going to thread command, click on it, and then choose the bolt hole. Now this is ANSI unified screed and 0.25 diameter, quarter of an inch, that is, and 20 threads per inch. Okay, so we're choosing, okay, each one of them. Just click on the plus button and then move on to the next bolt hole. Plus button, move on to the next. Okay, because computer treats each thread, each hole, a separate job, threading job. So you need to click on the plus button and then move on to the next. Okay, if you want to see what it looks like, it's like that. Okay, cool, and then okay. Save your work. Okay, so this is the process. This process is necessary to make the engine lightweight and also the cool down. The thinner the surfaces, wall surfaces are, the faster the engine is going to cool, and also the oil is going to penetrate into. So this is important to do this part. And but this is only the half of the engine. Okay, so the head of the other half has to be copied from here to the other side. So to do that, I'm going to go back to 1, 2, 3, the third extrusion. Just remember that. Go to Sketch, double click that. And you're going to use the copy command. You're going to select everything first and then Control C for copy. Okay, to copy everything to the other side. So we copied one side, and now we're going to go to the other side. Okay. And to select the surface, create a sketch. See if we can paste this with the Control V.